Hi, welcome back. Now, in this session, I'm going to talk about how you can schedule a meeting. So, in the earlier session, what we learned is how to host a meeting. Hosting a meeting is hosting a live meeting. Now, in this session, I'm going to talk about how to schedule a meeting. Now, there are two ways of scheduling a meeting. One, either you click on this option here and start scheduling the meeting, or you can also click on the meetings option and click on schedule a new meeting option. I'm going to click on schedule a new meeting. Let's assume that you are scheduling a meeting or an online session for today is the 5th of May. So let me schedule a meeting for 6th of May, that is tomorrow, Friday, and I will name it as, suppose let's say for example you are scheduling a meeting for your playgroup class. Okay, so maybe there are 2-3 sections, then I would say playgroup class A. Under the description, you can mention the details of the session. So for example, this is the first session. Okay, if it's going to be the first orientation session, I can mention it as orientation session. Now, so let's schedule the timing and the date. So here I'm going to ensure that the meeting is scheduled on Friday, that is the 8th of May at 11 o'clock. Yeah, I think 11 o'clock should be fine. So 11 a.m. Now, duration. Now, suppose if you are not on a licensed version, Zoom won't allow you to schedule a meeting for more than 30 minutes. But because I have purchased the licensed version, there's no limit. So I can even go on continuing doing a session for as long as 24 hours. But an ideal session for playgroup can be of 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to click this as 0 and keep it at 30. Now, when you set up duration, this doesn't mean that after 30 minutes, the session, Zoom is going to shut down the session. No, you can still continue doing the session for as long as you want, provided you are on the licensed version. This 30 minutes is just a kind of a setting that it asks you, so that you have an idea that how long you are planning to conduct the session. Time zone, it is by default India. Okay, so just leave it as it is. If you are sure that you are going to conduct this particular session on a daily basis, okay, it's going to be a recurring meeting, in that case you should click on recurring meeting. Now, what it asks you is, suppose if you're doing a recurring meeting, so is it going to be a daily meeting? Is it going to be weekly once? Is it going to be monthly? Or if there's no fixed time. Okay, now suppose if we are fixing up a regular session for the playgroup class from Monday to Friday, you can keep it as daily. Okay, now it also asks repeat every 1 day. Okay, so it also gives you a chance to schedule a meeting once in 3 days, once in 4 days. Okay, and ultimately, how long is the recurring meeting going to go on? So if it's going to be for like 3 months, you can choose as May, June, July. So you can click it on, say, okay, so you can have it as till 27th of June. And here in the occurrence, you can also basically say that, okay, after I am done with 7 meetings, 7 sessions, or maybe 10 sessions, you want to end this meeting. Okay, so As of now, I'm going to keep it, I'm going to uncheck the recurring meeting, but there's just an option, there's an advanced scheduling, so that every time you don't have to schedule a new meeting, and every time the parents can simply use the same same meeting ID and password and log. Okay, I'm going to shut this off now. Registration, do not check in, because what this means is, whenever you check this, participants will have to first get themselves registered on Zoom, and then only they'll be able to join the meeting or the session. So we don't want all the parents to get themselves registered on Zoom. It is, even if they have the meeting password and the meeting ID, it's more than enough. Okay, so just untake this meeting ID. So as I told you in the first session, that let Zoom come up with the meeting ID. If in case you want to use your personal ID, you can simply click here and then set up a password. Okay, so I'll keep it as generate automatically. Okay, now this is going to be the meeting password. Now this is checked in. Okay, because again we have set up this setting in the default setting that every time a attendee joins a meeting, it has to be the attendee has to join the meeting with a password. So this is the password. You can also put in your own password. Okay, I'll use it as PC. Next option is video. Now we've already kept it off. Okay, because as I told you, you don't want to start a meeting directly with your video on, or even the participants video on. You can always switch it on once the session begins. Under the audio setting, leave it to both. Now again, a few security options here. Or enable join before host. Now what this means is, if in case you are yet to start the meeting, suppose the meeting is scheduled at 11 o'clock and there are some participants who have clicked the joining link 5-10 minutes before. If you check this, they'll be still able to join before you start the meeting. So I don't want them to join before me, so I'll keep this as unchecked. This is again a very important setting. Mute participants upon it. You should always click this, because whenever you are in a meeting, okay, and suppose if there are any attendees joining in a bit late, like 5-10 minutes later, and once they join in, if they haven't switched off their microphone, it will create a lot of disturbance, and especially when kids are around, this will create a lot of chaos. So ensure that you don't allow participants to join with their mic on. And the third is enable waiting room. So again, ensure that you've clicked this. Okay, so what happens is, this is the third phase of security. So the first thing is, they need to have a meeting ID. Second is, even after they enter the meeting ID, they'll need a password. Okay. And the third one is, even after they join by entering the password, they will be first taken to a waiting room. Only once you accept them as attendees, they will be able to start viewing your presentation or the meeting. So always ensure that you click this enable waiting. You can ignore this. Only authorized users can join. Again, as I told you, parents who are registered on Zoom, only they can join if in case you have checked this box. So do not check this box. Now, suppose if you want to record this meeting, record the session, and then later on share it with your parents. Okay. In that case, you should click this as record the meeting automatically. Do not record the meeting on the cloud. Okay. Ensure that you are recording this meeting on your local computer. Again, a security check. What happens is, if you are recording this meeting or the session on the cloud, Zoom will have the access for this. But if you are recording it on your local computer or your laptop, once you end the meeting, once you end the session, you will be able to download the whole recording on your local computer, and it won't be saved on the cloud, as in on the Zoom server. So if in case you are recording the meetings, just ensure you click on the local computer. Ignore this. And now that we have already set up all these things, let me just click on save. So we have successfully scheduled a meeting, okay, on 8th of May at 11 a.m. Now, once you've scheduled this meeting, okay, on the particular time on 8th May at 11 a.m., you will click on start this meeting, and the meeting will begin. Okay, so do not click this button before you want to start the meeting, because suppose I have scheduled a meeting just now, and if I click this, the meeting will start. Okay, so do not click on start this meeting till the time you want to actually start the meeting. Now, once you have scheduled a meeting, say for tomorrow, and you want to start inviting or start informing parents about the session, okay, again, there's an option here wherein it says copy the invitation. Now just click on this. Again, as I told you, there's a lot of information which is not needed. Okay, so the most important information is, again, as I told you, there are three things. One is the link. Okay, so the Zoom meeting link, which is important. Then the meeting ID is important, and then the password. So we have set up our own password while scheduling the meeting. That's why the password says as Sanket PC. Okay, so all you need to do is copy this, the topic, timing, the link, meeting ID, and password. Simply copy this and save it in a notepad, and so that later on you can copy the whole text and either mail it, WhatsApp it, or SMS it to parents. So just ensure that you keep this notepad file saved somewhere, because when we talk about the bulk SMS option or the WhatsApp broadcast option, I'll be telling you how to use this information to start inviting your existing parents to your contact list. Okay, right now minimize this. Okay, so once you are set, okay, once you've already sent the invitations and once you've already scheduled a meeting, now let's see how you start a meeting. Let's assume that it is 8th of May and it is 11 a.m. and you want to start the meeting. Simply click on start this meeting. So now again, if you've already used or hosted a meeting before, it will directly start, the application will pop up and you can simply start the meeting. If you're doing this for the first time, you will have to download a plugin which will automatically get installed on your PC, and then you will be able to start hosting future meetings. Okay, so now as you can see, again, here, because we have scheduled this meeting, we were able to give it a name. Okay, initially when we started hosting a meeting, there was no option of putting up a meeting topic, but here we have already opted for a topic which says Playgroup Class A, hosted by Sanket. So this here your name would appear or your school name would appear, password, okay, and the invite and the participant ID. Now in the initial session, I have already told you how to test your audio settings, so I'm not going to take you through that again. I have also told you how to invite parents by copying the link, so I'm not going to tell you about that. Now, let me start telling you on how you can share the screen. So I've already covered the share screen part and the share presentation part and also the whiteboard part. Okay, as I told you, there are multiple options you will find here. Okay, you can also share a particular folder of your laptop. Okay, you can also share whatever is open on your laptop or your desktop can be shared depending on what window you choose. So now let's talk about okay, so I'm going to talk about each of these options here. Okay, so I'm going to take you through each and every setting that is needed. Okay, now before that I'm going to share my screen. Okay, share my screen as in share, I'm going to share a particular presentation so that you have an idea. Okay, so this is the presentation I'm going to open right now just to show you. So I'm going to click on the share screen option and I'm going to share the PowerPoint presentation. And as I told you, always whenever you're sharing the screen, always check this share computer sound option and then share it. Okay, so now my participants would be able to see my screen. Now as of now, let me take you through each and every option which is available here. I'm not going to talk about each and every option because I don't want to unnecessarily complicate things. Okay, I'm only going to talk about those options wherein which are needed for you to know before you start hosting or scheduling a meeting. So now the first option says that mute. Now if in case there's some disturbance in your background and you want to simply mute your mic for some time, you can simply click on mute. Okay, and again you can unmute this. Second option here is start your video. Okay, so suppose if in case there's some demonstration or there's something which you want to show to parents, okay, some craft activity or something like that, you can simply switch on the video so that the parent would be able to view you instead of the screen. Okay, third option is security option, which we have already covered, so I'm not going to take you through it again. Now let's see how you can manage the participants. Click on manage participants. Right now, because there's no one joined in, okay, it is only your name, that is I'm the host, so I'm able to see my name and I'm able to see myself as the host. Okay, now I've already shared the invite link with myself through WhatsApp, so I'm gonna just join that meeting. Okay, so now here you can see that because I have joined in from another device as a participant, when I joined in I mentioned my name as test participant. Okay, but because we've checked in the security settings, this test participant was not directly admitted to the session. As a host, I'm able to see this and it asks me whether you want to admit this person or you want to remove. So suppose there's an unknown person who is trying to join in your meeting, simply remove. Right now I'm going to just admit this person because I know it's me. Now once you admit this person, you will see it's coming in the participants chat window and the number of participants is now 2. Okay, so number 1 participant is me, that is the host, and I have allowed another participant to join. So as and when parents start joining your meeting, they will first be taken to the waiting room wherein you will be asked whether to allow them or not, and that's how once you click on the admit, they will be allowed and they will be sent to the participants list, and that's how they'll be able to start watching your session. Now, moving to the next, we've already covered the new share screen option. You can anytime pause or share the existing session. Simply click on the pause, and it will simply pause on this whichever part of the screen is showing that time, and you can then later on resume the share by clicking on resume. Okay, so there is this option. Annotate is an option wherein again it simply works as a whiteboard. Now, if you've clicked here, if you've clicked on the annotate, you can simply start highlighting a few text. So, for example, there's already a screen which you're showing. There's already a presentation which has been shown by you, and you want to particularly highlight. So, let me just show you. Okay. So now these are the 4 points which I am talking about in the presentation, and suppose if I want to highlight something, so I'll go to annotate and I'll simply pick up an option of say draw a square, and while I'm giving the presentation, I'll simply highlight the point. Okay. Similarly, if I want to mention something that okay, under this session, point number 1 is say whatever, I mean, okay, anything specifically when you talk about, okay, you can mention it here, or you can also use the draw option to draw something. Okay. Now, the way you are able to annotate, in the same way your participant also would be able to annotate. Okay, but in this session you don't want any kind of disturbance in terms of the audio as well as in terms of the annotate. So simply go to more and ensure that you click on disable participants annotation. Okay, so disable participants annotation. Once it is disabled, your participant won't be able to draw or write anything on the screen. Okay, so ensure that this option is clicked. Now there are multiple options here. There's also a chat window which is available. Okay, so suppose if you are the host, okay, and your teacher has also joined in as a participant to assist you. Okay, here she can keep in touch with the parents. Okay, if in case any parent is facing any kind of a issue, so you can continue with the meeting. At the same time, a teacher or some assistant can simply keep this chat window open and keep assisting the parents on whatever queries they are having. Okay, so you'll be able to see the list of participants here in the window, and you can either choose to chat with everyone or a particular participant. Okay, so that's the use of the chat window. Now, this is again a very good feature that Zoom allows. Okay, suppose you are hosting this meeting and there are say 2 teachers who have also joined in, okay, with their webcam, and you want to give them the access of the mouse, okay, of your pointer. You can simply choose the participant. So now right now it is only one participant, that is me, and that's why it's showing as test participant. But whenever this list will show all the participants, and you can choose to give the mouse and keyboard control to a particular participant. Okay, so now once I have granted the rights to my participant, okay, it will say that waiting for test participant to control your system. Okay, so in that case the participant would be able to hover around the mouse as well as change the slides. As of now, I'm going to remove the control. Okay. So So once you're set with all these settings, you can simply go ahead and start with the meeting. Now, once you're finished with the meeting, or once you're finished with the 30-minute session, all you need to do is simply go to more options, okay, and click on end meeting. Okay. Now, whenever you want to close the meeting or end the meeting, simply go to the more option and click on the end meeting, and then Zoom will ask you whether you want to end meeting for all or simply leave the meeting. So if you simply click on the leave meeting option, the meeting will continue to go on, okay, but you will be taken out of the meeting. So if in case your teachers are continuing the session ahead, but because of some work you just want to go out, you can simply click on the leave meeting option, or you can simply click on end meeting for all. So once you click on the end meeting for all, I'll just click it and show you. The meeting is going to end for each and every one, okay, and it will again ask you to sign up. So now, because we had chosen to record this meeting on the local computer, okay, once you end the meeting, Zoom will start its process of converting this recording and asking you to download it in your local computer. So it will take you through this process of wherein it's converting the recording into an audio as well as into an video version. So once the processing is done, it will ask you in which folder you want to save this. Okay, so you can simply choose an existing folder from your PC. Okay, so right now I'm going to choose my desktop, okay, and create a new folder there and save it there. Okay, so my recording is now saved, and if in case I want to share it with any of my parents, I can either share the audio version, the playback, or the whole playback video file. Okay, I'm sure now you're clear with how to start hosting a meeting and how to schedule a meeting with all the security settings in place. Let's move on to the next session.